Hello again, everyone. Zach Attack is here with the Atakline for this Monday, October 13th, 2014. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Happy Columbus Day, by the way. It's the Columbus Day edition of the Atakline. So, really pointless holiday, but hey, it is what it is. Let's kick these off with, of course, this weekend. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a good weekend of gigs. DJ Zach Attack gigs. My weekend started early for my DJing. Started this past Thursday at the Washington Elementary Fun One. I've been DJing these Fun One events, which are fundraisers for elementary schools in the Wilmington community area. And they run around they have like a course set up for the kids, run around like 15 minutes or 20 minutes in some schools. And I've been DJing, I think, every elementary school in Wilmington but one has eluded me. I've done Indian Hills, done Hampton Parsons, I've done Hevel, I've done Amanda Moore. I've never done Washington, which was kind of weird because I went to Washington Elementary. That was my elementary school, and I live across the street from there. I can ride my bike there. So I was so delighted that I was finally asked to do the fun one for Washington Elementary. So it was indeed a fun show, seeing some of my old teachers. There's not much old teachers that I had there left because some of them retired or went to Hevel and other schools. I think one of them went to Hampton Parsons. I'll be seeing her next week for their fun one next week. But being back in Washington, my home, my former school, it was kind of cool to be there and kind of remember the past while celebrating the future and DJing for all these kids. And it was a fun time. It was outside. It was decent weather. It was at least 60 and sunny. It was good enough for weather. It was good enough weather for the fun one to be outside. Better than Hevel's weather. Weathers for Hevel 2 weeks ago was rainy as hell. So glad to have out for Washington. Then on Friday, Splash Bash. Splash Bash in the Wilmington High School pool in Muffs. It's been up and down. We did one 2 weeks ago, and it was okay. But this one was the best one. Really well attended. It always is well attended when parents decide to have their children's birthday parties at the Splash Bash. So that makes it more fun, and more people come too that way. And it was a fun one. A lot of people for the dance set. All About That Bass is probably the most requested song right now, besides Anaconda. Kind of weird to play that song again this week. Someone complained about it last time, but I said, hey, frickin'. A parent requested it. She requested it. Probably I'll go by Enrique Iglesias. I thought that wouldn't work. It kind of worked. Then after that great Splash Bash, 2 great gigs at Westview Orchards in Wilmington this past weekend. They had a new winery open. That was kind of cool. It's a cool spot. It's above. They have this cider barn. And on the top of the cider barn in this hayloft, that's where the new winery is. Or as they like to call it, wow. That's Westview Orchards Winery. Makes sense. Cool name. And you also think, wow, you walk in because it's a cool spot. And it was opening weekend for that. And it was the best weekend at Westview in 2 weekends. Best weather in 2 weekends. It wasn't raining like it was a couple weeks ago. And excellent weather both days. I think Saturday was a little bit more attendance. Because we stayed later on Saturday. But both days were fun. We did a lot of Red Solo. It was Red Solo Cup weekend. They decided to have that weekend. So we had like Red Solo Cup challenges, like hot potato with a Red Solo Cup, and also a Red Solo Chug contest as well, and a pie eating contest. We've been doing that every week for the last couple of weeks as well. It's getting well received by the people at Westview. So the fun weekend at Westview this past weekend, other gigs. I'm back at Westview this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, of course, but I got other gigs besides Westview. Special needs on Friday. Saturday, besides the Westview show, I got a daddy-daughter dance at Guardian Angels, a Catholic school, and then Westview Orchards on Sunday. So that's my upcoming weekend. Now, on with the entertainment news for this weekend, starting with your #1 movie. Well, common upset, Gone Girl is still the #1 movie for the second week in a row, defeating Dracula Untold. Despite a decent opening of $23 million, Gone Girl made $26 million. Well, Alexander in The Terrible Hobo, No Good, Very Bad Day, based on the children's book with Steve Carell, made $18 million. Okay. The Judge, kind of a fail. 13 mil. Barely cracked the top 5. Because it was rated all, that's why. So there you go. Congrats to your new #1 movie. Still #1 movie, should I say. Gone Girl. Now, with some award show news, now we got the CMAs coming up, Country Awards. A couple weeks after that. Also going to be on ABC, the home of the CMAs, on November 23rd, it's the AMAs. 43 years of that award show. leading the nominations. 6 nominees, including being the only female to be nominated for the Artist of the Year, Iggy Azalea. And instead of 5 nominees for the Artist of the Year, it's 10. Iggy, along with Beyonce, the lone, I think she's actually the lone female for another award, but she ain't the only female for Artist of the Year. I correct myself. There are other females in that, including Beyonce, Lorde, Katy Perry. They've been taken on for Artist of the Year. That includes all genres: Luke Bryan, Eminem, Imagine Dragons, John Legend, 1D, One Direction, and Pharrell. Iggy will also be taking on 5 Seconds of Summer, Sam Smith, Bastille, and of course, Miss All About That Bass herself, Meghan Trainor, for Best New Artist. I think Megan or Iggy could win, but 5 Seconds of Summer. If the fans are voting, and One Direction now, oh God, I hate award shows sometimes, especially if the fans vote, because little girls always vote for their favorite boy band. So One Direction could win Artist of the Year. That's why Bieber won 2 years in a row for Artist of the Year, and Taylor's won that award too, because of the fan voting. And I smell 5 Seconds of Summer will win Best New Artist. But if they did not win Best New Artist at VMAs, losing to Fifth Harmony, who I was very surprised won. We'll see how they do in this one. Fan voted. Then we got Single of the Year. Fancy will take on All of Me. Wood Magic. Katy Perry, Dark Horse, and Pharrell Happy. John Legend, Sam Smith, Pharrell Williams for Best Male. Pop Rock. A lot of categories. Because there's subgenres too. Including even Garth Brooks is nominated for Best Country Album. 4 Greatest Hits Album. Actually, it's 5 disc box set he put out for Walmart last year. Because he's back in the game. The country world. Beyonce got some nominations. Of course, Katy's got some nominations. Even nominated for Best Adult Contemporary Artist. And Top Soundtrack. This can be interesting. Frozen, Fallen All Stars, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Frozen wins. Of course, the AMAs will take place on Sunday, November 23rd. Or as I call it, Night Survivor Series. It's always the same Night Survivor Series. At 8 o'clock on ABC. No performers or hosts set yet. But we're going to probably get those later. Of course, fan voting on the AMA website. Now, mentioned Katy Perry. She's nominated for some AMAs this year, including Best Female Artist of the Year and Best Pop Rock Album for Prism. But it's been a big year for Katy. It's going to get even bigger. As sources are saying that Katy Perry is going to be headlining Super Bowl 49 halftime show next year in February. Now, of course, the NFL says they're desperate now. Because they're getting a bad rap, image-wise, for people beating up their kids and beating up women. Talking to you, Ray Rice and A.J. Peterson, but that's for the Attack Sports. This is the Atakline. The NFL is now making artists pay to play. Katy made a subtle dig at the NFL during College Game Day a few weeks ago when asked about whether or not she would play in a Super Bowl. She said, "I'm not the type of girl who will pay to play the Super Bowl." Well, apparently she is paying. Because now she's saying to be the pick for the Super Bowl. Now, people make fun of her for being a pop star and NFL attracting a younger audience. But I think, being professional and all, this jockey, and also from personal experience, seeing Katy Perry on a prismatic tour this summer, Katy's the best choice for the Super Bowl. 3 reasons. 1, gets a lot of people to watch. Bruno Mars did well last year. But here's something that Bruno didn't have that Katy has. More hits. That's another good reason why Katy is a good choice. She's had 5 number 1 singles from one album. In total, she's had 10 number 1 singles. More to pick from than Bruno's 3 solo number 1s. And the other big choice. Katy will put on a spectacular stage show. Like I said, I saw in August on the Prismatic Tour. It was a very eclectic show. And it was like so much shit was going on. There was so many costume changes. Wonder how she's going to do the costume changes and everything in 15 minutes. But no matter what Katy does, it should be a fun show come Super Bowl in February. So it'll be cool to see Katy as a halftime show. Now, on with, of course, a topic of discussion. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony taking place next year in Cleveland. Now, the nominations have been announced. New to the list this year, making their debut, first year of eligibility, Green Day and 9 Inch Nails. Also on the ballot, finally, for the first time, Smiths, Sting Solo, Stevie Ray Vaughan, And a couple of repeats, including NWA, Joan Jett, Chic, and others. Now, I'm kind of PO'd, like many others. Last year, Deep Purple were on the ballot for the Hall of Fame induction last year, but sadly, they're not on the list this year. Bullshit. I hope Deep Purple's on the ballot for the class of 2016. Come on, it's bullshit. That Deep Purple was on the ballot. They didn't get in this year. Kiss got in, but Deep Purple ain't on the list this year. That's what happened with Kiss one year. Kiss was on the ballot one year, didn't get in. Then the next year, they weren't on the ballot. Then the next year, which was this year, they were on the ballot, and they got in this year. But, of course, for the third or fourth year in a row, the fans are voting for the top artists they would love to see in the whole. That's kind of cool. The fans will vote. I'm fan voting right now as I'm making this, and also Luby's nominated. My 5 to get in would be Nine Inch Nails, Green Day, who I think is because it's simplify rock. Sting, Louis, because he just passed away. Because I know Rock Roll of Fame like honoring people after they died. And speaking of that same thing, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I think he deserves to do the bluesy rock element. I love playing his shows. At shows and everything. Leading the fan poll as I'm making this video right now. Nine Inch Nails are in the lead, along with Stevie Ray Vaughan and Kraftwerk. That's an interesting band in Britain. They're like synth pop band. If they were to put Kraftwerk in the Hall of Fame, why not Depeche Mode? That's my personal opinion. For the personal Jesus, that is Depeche Mode. It's one of those songs. I had to make a joke with that. Anyway, they're probably going to announce the winners of who gets in, probably in late December, early January. And of course, Sam Warren will be on HBO in May of 2015. The Sam Warren will take place by March or April in Cleveland. They do it in Cleveland every 3 years. And it's been every 3 years. The last one in Cleveland was held in 2012. So, I would go, because I live in Detroit. I live like 2 hours from Cleveland. So, I'd love to go to Hall of Fame ceremony, as long as it doesn't conflict with my DJing schedule, like the last one did. Almost did. That is it for the Atakline for today. See you all later with that in mind. Y'all better act by the news from Zach. See you later, yeah.